Hi folks, how y'all doing today? Welcome to the Break Key. My name's Henry. I'll be walking you through the various and sundry things that we're doing to relax today. And today, it's something ridiculously simple. Today we are going to be making a cassette interface cable for the TRS-80 Color Computer. And this cassette interface cable is, if everything works out well, going to be a bidirectional cable that plugs directly into your laptop or cell phone or phone's jack equipped cell phone with absolutely no problems whatsoever. So sit back, relax, and enjoy the break key with me. So let's see. Last time I tried this, I poked a finger on a staple. You know, I don't want to poke a finger on a staple again, but this one doesn't have staples, so we're all good. Okay, there's that. There's that. Those can go away. And we can go ahead and open this up. Simple stuff. Very simple stuff. But then again, this is also my first video, so I'm still learning. We'll see what happens in the edit. I don't know if I'm even going to bother with an edit. I may just go ahead and look through it and say, hey, this is going to work. All right, so now we've got this lovely length of cable. And if I'm particularly lucky, then I'm going to have something that I can actually use. I'll be able to get to these wires, because now looking at that, this is awfully darn thin. Oh my goodness. Okay. Take this. Cut one of the plugs off. Dink. There we go. And rather than try it on this side, I'm going to go ahead and take a gander at this end and see what this looks like. Alrighty. Actually, that doesn't look like it's going to be too bad. It's going to be a little bit annoying. Let me see if I can get this in here and kind of show you guys. It looks like it's going to work. It's going to be a near thing, but it looks like it's going to work. All right. So yeah, this is going to work, and I'll practice on this thing. So let me see. How's this going to look? The outer jacketing is rather thick, actually. Okay, all right, we got this off. Oh, it doesn't look bad at all. Oh, dear. All right. Oh, no, the wires are colored. That's very interesting. Give me a second here. Yeah, check this out. Check this out. Those are not, I mean, yeah, you've got the fiber in there that's doing all that stuff, but it's like the wires themselves are actually colored. And you got the red, the green, and the blue. So that's actually very interesting. It's kind of nifty. All right. So the next thing we're going to do is I'm just going to go ahead and try to see whether or not I can even solder this thing. All right, so this looks like it's going to be a little bit meticulous, which is fine. I'm fine with meticulous. All right, so I know that's going to work, more or less. See if my Google foo. All right, so left audio, right audio, which is about what's expected. Okay, so ground's in the middle. All right, yeah, that's right. That makes sense. Because on a TRS jack, you're going to have the tip and the ring are going to be your left and right audio, and then the whole thing's going to be ground. And rather than have the thing decide that, oh, I'm going to talk to the microphone, it's just going to go ahead and ground the microphone in a TRS when you plug in a TRRS. All right, there's that. So that makes it easy enough. Now the next thing I want to do is I want to figure out which colors, since these are color coded. That makes it really, really easy, so I can tone things out and figure it out which color goes to which one. Let's try this one. Okay, so red is definitely red is going to the tip. Watch me have to tend these bad boys. I think that's what I'm going to have to do. Okay. All right, yeah. It's not happy without me actually putting solder on these things. So let's go ahead and do that. All right, so I think I've got that taken care of. Let's see now. Hopefully. All right. So let's see. And I see what I've got here. I've got red, I've got blue, I've got green, and I've got the copper. Okay. So the red clamp onto that. Nope. Nope. Okay. Red is on the sleeve. At least I hope it's on the sleeve. Oops. Nope. Red is the tip. Didn't I say that earlier, that red is the tip? Yeah, that should have clued me in. Green. Is the sleeve. Copper should be ring 2. Unless it's not. Okay. So, red is the tip. Let me burn through this again because, of course, I didn't write it down. So, let me go ahead and hit this. I'm on another screen with this. All right, so this is the blue, and the blue is the ring 2. This is the red. Red should be the tip. This is the green. I think we determined that green was the sleeve. Yep. And we determined that copper is ring 1. Okay, so there's that. Alrighty. There are all sorts of different DIN connectors, and what we're using with the color computer is the 5-pin 180-degree connector, which I'm showing right there, the pins. I do apologize. I completely just borked what I was selecting for sound. And now, the counting of those pins, although it's consistent, it also is going to be not marked on the Coco schematic. So it's like, okay, which way are we looking at the jack? We really can't tell just by seeing that jack. Now, there will be a page that I turn to here very shortly that will show what goes to what, and I managed to get it mostly figured out how we're going to get this actually wired up. And by mostly figured out, I mean I actually get the wires to the right connections. So we'll go over to there it is. That's the DIN connector that we're looking at and what needs to go where. So the nice thing is, since I know what the parts of the TRRS connector are that I need to plug in, then I know now which pins I need to plug into on the connector. And actually dealing with this, I mean, we looked at me tinning these on the other side and toning out what goes to the connector a little bit ago, but actually getting these prepared to be soldered in, yeah, they all have to be tinned, but they also have to be, I want to make sure that I have a bit of a length to go on there. And it's not that terribly, easy to tin them because you've got very fine wires. I mean, it's almost like working with a light crochet yarn, except much finer, something between like wool and silk. So I managed to get everything tinned here, and now we're looking at I'm retoning everything, retoning things, making sure that I know where things are, verifying that I'm actually going to be hooking things up to the right place. You see that I've got the DIN connector with the solder cups facing up. That's going to help me, but also I have to be really careful because those solder cups, the connector they're in can't take that much heat without the pin itself starting to bend a bit. It melts a little bit because of the pin. And I did have that happen on one of the pins. It was a little bit of a pain to get that righted out. And now I'm soldering one of the pins to one of the wires. I have to trim the tinned wire, fold it so that I have enough to work with, and then add a little bit of solder to the tip of the iron in order for me to get that there. And that's, of course, not thinking about the flux that I have to make sure that I put on there in order to allow things to flow appropriately. And now I'm putting the connector back together. The shell comes together easily with the actual pins and not Bakelite, but whatever that stuff is, actually in there quite nicely. It's nicely keyed. The sleeve itself is very easy to put on. The shell pieces have the built-in strain relief as well as a grounding lug should you need to ground to the shell. However, there's a nice little tab that you'll see come up here very shortly. There it is, right there on the top. That tab is actually what's used to hold the outer shell in place. And what you'll do there is just ever so slightly lift up on that, bend it up a bit from underneath the rubber housing to get the rubber housing to stay in place. It makes it a very easy connector to work with. So we have our cassette connector now with the TRS jack on it, and now it's time to test. Hopefully everything turned out right. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and plug this into the color computer. That's serial, that's the joystick, there's the cassette port. Come on. I believe notch goes up. There's the notch. There we go. All right, perfect. And then the other side will be plugged into my laptop over here. Okay. And now it's time to go ahead and get this thing booted up and see what we look like here. So let's go back over here and turn her on. Give her a wiggle. There we go. All right. And just go ahead and test and make sure that I've got audio coming into the ADAM. Yep, looks like I do. All right, beautiful. And pause, run a little longer. Good, it's looking good. All right, turn the audio on. Okay, that should do that. And now on this, I'm going to see about playing the Star Blaster, let's see, Star Blaster Microworks.cas. And I should hear, let's see, I should hear things working over there. Okay. Wave, okay. All right, good. Check something here. Okay, so it looks like that actually worked. Okay, so now all right, there we go. Okay, so now the test. Will it load something? All right, so what I'm going to need to do here is I'm going to clone on the color computer, and I'm going to go ahead and do a play on the PC. Actually, that should be a clone M, I think. All right, and if I go over here, that's playing. Oh, it's giving me an IO error. All right, so something's wrong. It didn't like it. We're going to go ahead and try that again. And we might need to turn the output volume up a ways. Matter of fact, I'll bet you nickel that's my problem, is I don't have enough in the way of output volume. So let me go ahead and bring my output volume to 100%. Okay, and it's not an Alt tab because it's over here. Oops, wrong keyboard. Let's try that again. All right, so that's loading. That's good. Well, it's not loading yet. It's still looking for stuff. So now we can go ahead and try the A play again. Ah, it'll give me an IO error. I heard it. No, it found it. It found it. Nice. It's loading. It's loading. And, well, I don't have a joystick right now, so I'm not going to necessarily be able to play it. But you know what? I can hit exec and see what it does. Okay, beautiful. We've got that. So now I can get stuff in. Now, because of the way that I've got my audio routing set up, I'm not necessarily able to effectively test whether or not I can get stuff out. I think I can do it. Actually, I know I can do it. It's just going to be a little bit annoying. All right, now, let's exec. Hit space. Oh, this one plays with keyboard. Arrow keys. Ah, shoot, 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 shoot. Ah! How do you turn? Oh, that's a shield. I can't remember how to turn on this thing. Ah! Okay. Let's just do this until I hit something and die. There we go. How many more do I have? Oop, found. There it is. Got it. Okay, that's better now. Ah! Sweet. Die, you silly thing. Die! I said die! Did it die? Ha 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 ha! Whee! I wasn't expecting to be able to do this today. Oh, I killed them all. Did I? Yes, I killed them all. Okay, there we go. Are we done yet? Are we done yet? I think I gained an extra... Oh, crap. Okay, so I got to hit reset. So 2930. You guys see it. 2,930. Oh, it's one of those games. All right. That's fine. Okay, so let's see. We're going to go ahead and go back over to the talking. All right. So the next thing that I need to do is check and see what's up with actually saving. Will it save? So for me to do this, I'm going to have to change around how the audio is routed. So that's going to be a bit of a pain. And so you're probably not going to hear anything during this. No, you're definitely not going to hear anything during this because I don't want you to have to deal with like whatever's coming through, whatever. So I'll wind up just doing a jump cut here or some kind of cut over to where it's actually saving or where it's actually failing to save. All right, let's go ahead and do that. Well, that didn't work exactly as I had hoped because, like I said at the outset, I was hoping that we'd be able to get both into and out of the Coco with this cable. Now, I'm not sure what's going on. It could, my soldering skills and what I'm doing with it, you never can tell. But the fact of the matter is, you saw it. I was able to play a game. I was able to load something from the computer onto the computer. And that's a nice thing because if I can load it from the computer into the Coco, that means that I can write it on the computer, save it on the computer, load it into the Coco. And so I have a way to do that. Now, one of the next things that I want to do is work on building a drive wire cable. I'm not entirely sure how well that's going to go, given my hit track record so far. And I'm not just talking about these things right here. But as a first go, I'd say this is a win. It actually looks kind of pretty. It's not a bad thing. And you know what I thought was really nifty? Opening the thing up and seeing the color-coded wires that were just, I'm sorry, it was just rather pretty. So yeah, I kind of had fun with it. So thanks for joining me at the Break Key today. I hope to see you again here soon. Be sure to like, to share, and subscribe if that's your particular flavor of enjoyment. I know that I'd appreciate it if you did. And, you all have a great day, and I hope you don't get too caught up with solder fumes. Ah! Why do I never have the correct tool for what I need to do? Okay, there we go. It always has to be hard, or I always have to be doing it, ow, wrong. That's annoying.